Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back finally to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Oh my goodness, it has been since last year that we actually took a look at this game. I had been busy with the launch of PSO2 globally, and so that's why I really didn't have much of a chance to actually get back to this, but finally with the content gap that we've got going on for PSO2 New Genesis, this seemed like an opportune time for me to finally get back to this and just try to catch up on things before the launch of Endwalker this fall. So that is something that I am looking forward to. But yeah, today we are getting back to it with patch 5.4. And just a quick little thing I do want to note here. Due to the ongoing issues with DMCA notices, going forward for this series, I'm only going to be focusing on the main scenario when streaming here on Twitch, or whenever I'm uploading to YouTube. And then any side content will happen instead on my Discord. Link to that is in the description below on Twitch or on the About page for my channel on YouTube. But yeah, let's kind of get into things here. Once again, thanks for tuning in, Brooks and Lord Samuel. Let's go ahead and kick things off here with Kryl and the quest, Azys Quest. Oh, greetings, Prince. Come to look in our friends? Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we? Gotcha, Lord Samuel. We'll see you next month then.
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I have a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone!
That's surprising to see Lise here.
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former Scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahatir at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it. Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire.
Pretty deadpan about that.
So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Oh, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
Well, sometimes the political intrigue can be fun, but yeah, I'll stick with you today. What meeting? Lead on.
I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
Quit being bashful there.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
Alright, let's talk to Alice here. When I set out to save Harik, I think Gabu was always at the back of my mind, and having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I'm convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the aether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alice, and it warrants full investigation. If there's ever a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. I'm sure Big Lug would remind us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the Allegans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Aetherochemical Research Facility. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Azys Lla, which means we'll be needing an airship. Azys Lla, rather. An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silvertear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Alrighty, let us exit to the Rising Stones. And we need to make our way over to Silvertear Lake. So just for reference on my personal progress within the game, if I go to classes, yeah, I'm basically 80 on everything right now, including my Disciples of Hand and Land. That was a nice little goal I set for myself here to get that all done. Only exception is Blue Mage, which of course is locked at level 70 right now. But I'm basically ready to go for Endwalker whenever that happens. Let's see. And let's speak to Tataru here. I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones, and named her for luck and prosperity. Tataru, this is amazing! We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship... I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coin-keeper. I'd also introduced myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Azys Lla. But enough talk. It's time to fly. All aboard! Sort of a surprising development there. Alright, here we are in Azys Lla. Honestly, Cid would be jealous of the way the airship flies. Tataru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azys Lla, and Alphino's report did not do the scale of this place justice. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Azys Lla, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an Aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. You sure you two just don't want to hop into my car and I can just take you to the Aetherochemical Research Facility? Krabatos, I'm doing fine. How are you hanging up there? Or hanging there, rather. Let's see. That should be right here. And here is the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. Sorry to hear that. Ah, there we are. Iconic Corruption, an overview. That sounds promising. And thank you for the subscription there, Captain Radix. And yes, indeed I am ready for some story. Indeed, let us see what this report has to say. Confound it. The contents appear to have been deleted. What? No! Isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. It is likely that he kept a copy. I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters on the Habisphere. We can ascertain the details at Habisphere Control. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the Manor Cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot. You already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship, then. We'll see you at the Habisphere. And actually, I just noticed that chat isn't showing, so let me try to fix that real quick, everyone. Alright, now we have chat. Alright, so with that, let's make our way over to our destination, which is the Habisphere. you might be noticing I'm flying on this new dragon here. This is a dragon that you get if you complete a certain set of custom deliveries. You can get it from the Firmament in Ishgard. Here we are. If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us the number. Tell us its number, rather. There. From what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning. An evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Tabosphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbral Calamity. I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical. Returning to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example? Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant aether throughout the continent. You seem to recall. Are you honestly telling me that it was in the records, too? I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning-aspected aether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much Allagan knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me to feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, 'tis more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They are wont to manifest where the aether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? Very well. It would be my honor to come third. I win? Where's... Yeah, I've got lightning shards right here. Yeah, they didn't take crafters into account for this one. Alright, so... Oh, actually, I should go ahead and turn this back on so I can see what my actual goal is here. Here we go. So find a point of stagnant lightning and defeat the lightning sprites that appear. Okay, so this is sending us to the north. Somewhere inside of here. Okay. There it is. Okay. Bravo! That was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all my thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. If I had to make a guess... Van Daniel? What, no dramatic entrance? You've changed. Oh, it is Gratia. Guess I just expected them to jump out a little bit sooner in the story than they did, I guess. You remember that. In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest-to-God's hero, after all. I guess it's gonna be like this for a while, then. Yeah, come to think of it, this was how we met first in, what was it? Over in, East Shroud, I want to say it was? Well, the contest continues, so you had better hurry back. Ah, but one last thing. Thank you, Prince, for bringing me here. I suppose Fan Daniel wouldn't even know that we're back just quite yet. Okay. It appears Alizé had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? One of these? No, I'm sure you actually want the key item here. What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? Well, the echo helps, I think. That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could learn a great deal from Prince, and not only about the secrets of adventuring. But come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security systems within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes, but if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption and overview sounds like a stadium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphino's was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Sharlayan's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his views, and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently, by which I mean the roads were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded. But deep down, he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the Allagan civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the stadium? Or studium? I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Baldesion convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end, at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved, but enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. He was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Initializing. Scanning for registered user. It's going to ask for a password, isn't it? User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, your highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Une said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Iconic corruption. An overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Ah, I called it! Well, go on then, your highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right. Let's see. Glory be to Allag. Ah, he was a dissonant against the Allagans. Long live Emperor Zande. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... password. The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. Oh, this got out of hand quick. What did that thing just call me? Oh, God. Wild Roses from way back at the start of the game. Alright, Wild Rose. Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it's them. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. Alright, what do we have for this? Yeah, I think I'll take the oven meatballs. Alright, is this thing still asking for a password? Threat detected. Alright, reviving the legacy. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rembrose did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However, much I might look forward to seeing him again. Him and everyone. But come, let us be on our way. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? I was not expecting to get such a bit of comedy so early on. Alright, so, we are headed back to Mordona. Alright, here we are. Has it changed its tune? Large, low-born presence detected. I guess I'm not a threat anymore, huh? Wonderful news, Prince. Tataru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryl? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on, and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial Legion in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Third, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears to have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus. Aren't they the ones who took in Yatsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict. And so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the Beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Luminsons, in particular, struggle in their efforts, and Alphino and Yushtola have been called upon to aid them. So long as we are dealing with the Tempered, I am afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's Respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Alright, to Dawn's Respite we go. Let's see what these two are thinking. Sid, at long last. As important as Gabu is to me, I know only too well how much more is at stake here. A cure could change the whole world. Sid. Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What is it? Well, a treatment for tempering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allagan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us. We could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magic Tech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambrose. It contains an Allagan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. So basically they're just gonna hack into this thing with a dictionary-based attack. Ah, looks like it's finished. Let's see. freedom. The password is freedom. Ha! Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Node, open the report entitled Iconic Corruption, an Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend, Sephiroth, would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally changed, or stagnant, during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner, do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women, all fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence, I have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day, someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. So not even the Alligans were able to find a cure, or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True. Yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. If we could only make them remember who they were. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects only to those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith which had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light-corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism. And I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. And perhaps it's better that we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to stimulate magics. Which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? I wonder if there are other documents inside that sphere that use the password freedom. Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen, by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology, or some such. You two. Round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Lucky we have you to help, eh? Alright, what is this saying now? Nothing! Right. While Grahatia and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. In that case, I'll trust Prince and Alice with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Sky Steel manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. The people there will give you what we need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. To Ishgard, then. Welcome back, Master Prince. How may I serve you this day? Let's hand over this promissory note. So, you're after Ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Alright, so that's going to take us up into the pillars. Ceruleum. You've come to the right man. Fair warning, though, the price has shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem, it's as good as gold to me. Ah, the Vanu are coming into the city for a visit, it appears.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day?
Picking up supplies.
A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
It's good to have friends in high places.
Who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more, now that I look at it.
Now you be careful those ice shards don't accidentally change the aspecting of whatever you're doing to ice.
Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance? Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Nero?
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
For all the effort it took to track you down after your latest disappearing act, you could find the cure for death, and it wouldn't be worth the trouble.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel, not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 paths to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
By the way, the healing applications of crystal foci proved very useful in getting us to where we are now. I must remember to thank Mikoto. Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while. Damn it. It's overloading.
She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close! Oh!
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There!
No.
I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Well, it appears the hunts are active today. That's what that message on the screen was just there. Alright, Azys. At long last, we have our cure. In theory, at any rate, but we cannot be certain until such time as we put it to the proof. But I am quietly confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gabu. His symptoms are relatively mild. As long as you exercise due caution. Yes, as long as we exercise due caution, it will be fine. Without further ado, then, let's make for Limsa. We've kept Gabu waiting long enough. To Limsa Luminsa. Well, this is the moment of truth. I'll have our host bring Gabu to us at once.
Apologies for the wait.
Gabu, have you been good?
Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
Fancy meeting you here.
Alphino Yushtola! I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment? using Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
Be that as it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And, as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I, for one, would be glad to assist.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Excellent. With your permission, then, let us begin.
Yes, this will do.
And now, it's my turn. Tis done.
No small amount indeed.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allagans did not. It was never like to be easy. The rest is up to you, Azys. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't.
'Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
Well, this seems as good a spot as any to have rest.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Azys refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better Scion.
Don't tell me, tell her.
I should, I know. Yet, despite my good intent, I have the feeling that I would only succeed in incurring her ire. Azys, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
Oh, I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
Gaboo!
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Azys' and everyone's. And I found that I could remember. One thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Azys. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Azys was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gaboo, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then, the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority, of course.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
I have to go now, Gabu. But the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Azys Lla. Thank you.
Back to Giovannia we go. As she will be at pains to remind me, I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first, but this seems as good a time as any. Come, let us make for her cave. Perhaps so, but Matoya also has history within the series. She was there in the very first Final Fantasy game as well. Let's check in with everybody else here. Master Matoya is something of a legend among Archons. I very much look forward to meeting her, if not the dressing down I am liable to receive for my inept attempts at summoning you. It has been some time since Master Matoya last saw Y'shtola. What a lot they will have to talk about. Do you remember when last we came here, it was to find out why the others had collapsed? If someone had told me that they'd been whisked away to another world, I would probably have laughed in their face. You live and learn, huh? I take it you are ready to bear witness to the joyous reunion of master and pupil? Very well.
Nary a word from you all this time, then you bring every man and his pirogo with you. Did no one teach you any manners, girl?
They were too busy teaching me etherology, Master. Jesting aside, I wanted to be the one to express our gratitude. I am told you spared no effort to sustain our bodies while we were away. And for that, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You were gone so long. I was starting to think you'd set your heart on staying.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
She did not want that known.
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Grahatia is my name, and I am proud to call myself a Scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
Ah, yes. The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Allag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits. Do you have a bad back or something? At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day. So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxies with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother porxie, as it were. Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
Let's see what they're all thinking. A porxie that produces porxies. What an inspired idea. By the way, Prince, did you think I misspoke earlier? Yes! I assure you, it was not my intention to embarrass everyone. Oh, the old hole. She really must miss the place. What does she mean, do you think? Some manner of hidden workshop, perhaps? In case you've ever wondered, Alphino got his innocence streak from our mother. and it can be rather endearing, even useful in certain situations. But most of the time it just makes me want to shake him. Poor Y'shtola. Alright, that broom's been saying the same thing for a long time. Alright, I'm off to my old workshop. Everything required to make your familiar is there. That may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what has become of it. Oh, there's sure to be a handful of feral familiars, and mayhap a monster or two, but nothing to trouble the likes of you. You can consider cleaning up the place payment for my help. Fine, we'll do it. Good girl. Now, if there are no other objections, I suggest you roll along to the Maker's Quarter. I'll send one of my pirogos ahead to let you into the workshop. You need only tell him who you are. One can't be too careful after all. Off you go. To the Maker's Quarter we go, then. Oh, wow, it's actually going to be quicker for me to teleport over to Idleshire to get there. Almost there. Greetings, Ribbit, and welcome to my good mistress's relic. Pirogo Rogo is my name, and I'm honored to be your guide. Within you will find a space dedicated to the making of familiars, along with a cavern wherein the requisite ingredients may be had. I must warn you, however, that the place has not played host to a single soul, much less a broom, in over 15 years, and will, I regret, be in some disarray. But rest assured, my brothers and I shall see you to it. You do not lose your way. Now then, Ribbit, only say the word and I will show you in. Latoya's relic is now accessible. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and form a party and enter Matoya's relic. As for the group... Alphino, I think you sometimes are a little... slow on the healing. Let me grab
ever ready.
Rahatia.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Pirogos say, or you'll wish you had.
Okay, that's unique. Montoya's theme in the style of Sorcerer's Apprentice. Okay. Right, first things first, we need to harvest some clay. Clay can be had at the Clay Clot Cauldron. Ribbit. Through this portal, if you would. Please follow me, Ribbit, and put down any pests that bar the way. So far, so good. Allow me to assist you with the gap, Ribbit. I did not imagine the place would be so infested, Ribbit. Ah, son of Ziggy! I believe I remember Ziggy from the Upside Down Tower.
This is going to leave a mark!
plant is just across the way, but you'll need to deal with the Mudman first. Alright, so... got spheres of mud to the side. Guess let's see how this goes. Drainage system activates. Nothing too unusual so far.
Allow me.
I think I get it. It just needs to roll off the ledge. Or into the drainage system, I suppose.
Stubborn.
I will not hold back.
Sorry, Azys.
Hold on.
I owe you one.
Yeah, I agree. That didn't really look too much like clay. Next, we need to get the water flowing again. It'll be my pleasure to show you to the Clear Note Cauldron. Ribbit, please use this portal. For your own safety, I ask that you keep close to me, Ribbit. Well, you told me to keep close to you. Please wait while I move the lift ribbit.
Stubborn.
The little spring yonder ought to put the little spring yonder ought to put a spring in your step, Ribbit. Ah, that's what he meant. Another lift ribbit, just a moment. I sense some mischievous presence, Ribbit. Please take care. Oh, now that thing is just cute. Let me guess, it's gonna turn into something else.
Let's give them a show!
Gotta find the hole here. Do I have to hop up? There we go. Thanks, Rooks.
Stubborn. Allow me. Just the beginning.
You underestimate me!
At this point, I don't think it's going to turn into anything else. Water is flowing again, Ribbit. Let us head back. Last but not least, we need to fire up the kiln. Step right through, Ribbit. I will guide you safely to the kiln fire cauldron. Off we go, Ribbit. Try not to fall behind. What's the Ribbit? magma can't stop us, Rivet.
I will not hold back.
Allow me.
Looks like this is the last group before the boss. Unless there's something hiding over there.
Allow me.
Honestly, smite this fiend once and for all, Rivet.
I will not hold back.
What a fiery battle that was. And I don't mean the magma. Your destination awaits. That takes care of the killing, Rivet. Hey, Wolfert. I am running through patch 4.4 here, so I would recommend, given where you are, that you actually tune out here. Alright, it's time to make ourselves a porksy. Wolfric is still back in 5.1 or 5.2 at this point, so I don't want them to be spoiled.
Right then. Let's get this over with. Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
Mother Porksy. land in that hole there. Mallet, huh? Interesting mechanic. Having to balance letting yourself go so you don't get hit by attacks there.
Away with you!
Over here then, I guess.
I will not hold back!
Allow me.
Would one of you mages kindly use the limit break? Let's see what they're all saying. Nothing quite like a killing fresh familiar. Never knew familiar creation could be so rough. Quite a fight she put up. She's twitching. Is that normal? We finished then? Yeah, I see the twitch in the tail there.
There we are. Quite tame.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more. That should suffice.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we? I want to see some porkses. Assuming that is, someone can spare the requisite energy. A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Matoya, I dare say. Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the Mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will require a moment before I try again.
It's still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone. We're a step closer to our goal.
Distributed amongst the allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa Laminsa should be the first beneficiaries.
So, question... What's the plan to get rid of them once we don't need them anymore? Like, when there are like thousands of them out there.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
In addition to the porkses, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age.
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
I suppose dealing with a porksy infestation would be a bit easier than tempering, though. Lest you wonder, Master Matoya has returned to her cave with Y'shtola. They are as peas in a pod, are they not? You may now enter Matoya's relic with a party of NPC avatars. Well then, my friends, let us return to Limsa Laminsa and deliver the good news to the Admiral. A word to the officer in Bulwark Hall should be sufficient to secure us an audience. To Limsa we go! Why, Prince, ever a welcome sight. Tidings for the Admiral, you say? She is presently receiving guests, but for the Scions, I know she will make an exception. Follow me. My friends, what brings you here this day? Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering. As often as I've been in awe of you Scions, I would not have thought it possible. And yet it is, Admiral. We have done it, here in Limsa, and production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks, truly. This will do much to advance the cause of peace. Yet I fear it will take more to close the rift twixt man and beastman. Even to speak thus divides us. Welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples. For those summoning and the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but symptoms of it. I haven't heard this track in a very long time in this game. This was actually from the original 1.0 version of the game, out in the fields of Limsa, or outside of Limsa. It's interesting they brought it back in here at this point. If we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. 'Twas I who moved that the Alliance renew its push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7 centuries past, we Luminsons have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for a brief moment of cooperation with the kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, our struggle with the Sahagin for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made worse by the thrice-damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who'd listen and then gave up. You and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. I thought it high time that I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Vilbrand than my own people sought to thwart me. You speak of the pirates who failed to attend the meeting. Acting through a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it, and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are one of the 3 pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would founder without them. I am given to understand that their leader, Captain Hilfer, has been bedridden for some while with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, his right hand leads, a man named Sicard, but recently risen to prominence among the Wraiths. Yeah, I think they were missing an L in that, Rooks. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We have invited him to speak with us more than once, but he will not come. I have tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives. but they have learned not of any value. Leave it to us. We have a nose for the truth. Whatever the Sicard wants, we'll find out. Truly, I would be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn, then. Good luck. By way of a first step, I suggest we split up and make inquiries around town. Someone must know this Sicard. If you could approach the pirates, Prince, the rest of us will seek out merchants and adventurers. Alright, we need to speak to the leaders of the pirate powers. That is going to take us to the upper decks, it looks like. Curious about Sicard, are you? As am I, my friend, as am I. Sadly, I know nothing of the man, save that the bloody executioners experienced a marked improvement in their fortunes after his promotion. Quite how he achieved this is a matter of some debate. As you know, the thalassocracy permits us to attack only Garlean vessels, yet these have all but vanished from the seas since the Empire turned in upon itself. In order to adapt, we Krakens have taken to trading with the East, but the executioners are less forward-looking. I cannot imagine they would willingly abandon the old ways. So how, then, are they lining their coffers? Whatever their secret, they are not like to share it with their rivals, but mayhap you will have more luck. Alright, so they're making a bunch of gil right now. Let's head over to the aft castle and check out the other group. Eh? You want to know about Sicard? He's a wily bugger, that is what he is. Found some clever way to make coin, they say, and traded it for Moenskate's place at Old Hilsfair side. There was a time we raced the executioners for our pick of the Empire's fleet, but the Garleans are gone, and them days with them. Owing to which, we've all of us had to look for other ways to make ends meet. With that jumped up Bilgerat Sicard landing on the juiciest, whatever it may be. Not that we Sirens are struggling, mind. We do well enough guarding fishing boats for the fishbacks and other beasties. Get the first pick o' the produce for our trouble, see? Quality stuff at a bargain price. This we pass to our sisters, as can't sail on account of them getting old, or wounded, or with child. And they cook it up and sell it for a pretty profit. Simple. Oh, I miss the old ways, don't get me wrong, but when I see the girls with their little ones, I think to myself, a life o' peace ain't quiet, ain't all bad. Alright. With that, let's make our way back down. Bulwark Hall. I see everyone has returned. Now, who would like to go first? So, just as their Imperial prey began to disappear, Sicard turned to the executioner's fortunes around with a mysterious new source of income. Whatever it is, it's nothing to scoff at. According to a tavern keeper I spoke to, the crew have been indulging themselves as never before, but no amount of drink seems to loosen their tongues as to how they come by their coin. For my part, I spoke with a reporter from the Harbor Herald. The publication has been investigating the secret of the executioner's good fortune, and making little headway. Plainly, the executioners do not wish the nature of their business to be made public. And I think I may know why. In the course of making inquiries on Hawker's Alley, an interesting fact came to light. Just as the executioners began to enjoy better fortunes, the price of crystal went into sharp decline, a sudden fall in demand, I was told. Curious, I contacted Hoary Boulder, who has been watching the movements of the beast tribes, and my suspicions were proven correct. Despite ever-worsening relationships between the beast tribes and the Thalassocracy, neither Titan nor Leviathan have made an appearance of late, suggesting that the kobolds in Sahagin lack the means with which to summon them. Do you mean to say the executioners are divesting them of their crystals? All indications point to that conclusion, yes. Though we have no hard evidence as yet, we must investigate further. Agreed. So how do we proceed? Oh, I have an idea about that. In fact, I have already taken the liberty of making certain provisions. During my inquiries, a disgruntled merchant informed me that a wholesaler of crystals had recently arrived in Limsa Lominsa, offering wares at prices far undercutting the competition. After asking around, I was able to gain an introduction, and will shortly pose as a potential buyer, in a bid to establish the crystal's provenance. The man is due to be at Auchan's Embrace in Lower Lenosha shortly. I suggest we make our way there at once. To Lower Lenosha we go. That appears to be our merchant. Wish me luck. Wait, if he truly is in league with the bloody executioners, he will surely be wary of those allied to the Admiral, the Scions not least of all. Compared to yours and Prince's, mine is an unfamiliar face. Let me play the role of buyer. Raha is right. And even if you aren't recognized on sight, you look too genteel to be mixing with society's underbelly. Genteel? But very well, I leave it to you, Graha. Got business with me, Catboy? You're the Crystal Soul, wholesaler? That I am. But you're no merchant, so what do you want the crystals for? Look at us, you idiot! You'll give yourself away. Oh, I see. You're a weaponsmith, am I right? And you need crystals to make staffs like that fine specimen you've got there. That's right. I am indeed a weaponsmith, and I use naught but the finest materials. I bid you show me your wares. Well, we don't invite just anybody into our storehouses. It takes time to establish trust, you understand? Look, I have a large and urgent commission. If the quality is satisfactory, I will not quibble over the price. Alright. It's plain that no ordinary crystal adorning your staff, so I'll make an exception. Come with me. It seems to be working. Let's follow them. Up to the north, it looks like we are headed. They went into that tunnel, quietly now. You won't find any finer, especially not for the price. Indeed. I would expect to pay more than double for such quality. How could they possibly be so cheap? There's nothing unlawful about them, if that's your worry. They're from Ogormo, if you take my meaning. Stuff's as pure as it gets. You won't be disappointed. So, how much do you want it? Oh, Gormoral. Taken from the kobolds, just as we suspected. That's enough. Shut your gobs and turn around, slowly. I'm Sickard, acting captain of the Bloody Executioners. No need to introduce yourselves. We know who you are, Scions. And we also know that you've been chatting to the Admiral. Got eyes and ears everywhere, see? Comes with being the only true pirate crew left in Limsa. So, we've established you ain't here to buy crystals. The question is, what are you here for? You're bold to reveal yourself to us without knowing our objective, but that would explain your swift rise to power. You have spoken plain, and so I shall return the favor. We came here to learn why the bloody executioners oppose the Admiral's will. And we have our answer. Should Limsa make peace with the kobolds, you would lose the source of your newfound wealth. That's right. Just to remind you, though, we ain't breaking any rules here. The law forbids us from attacking any vessel not flying the Imperial flag. But it don't say nothing about beastmen. Only reason we keep our operation nice and quiet's 'cause we don't want no one taking our business. Wait, just listen to the end, will you? For what it's worth, I have the highest respect for you and yours. Him especially. While the Maelstrom were worrying about dirtying their fancy red clobber, you lot stormed Ugomaro and battered Bleeding Titan himself. Raised a mug to you when I heard the news. And now we're following in your footsteps, making sure the Beastmen never summon their stinking gods again. Practically your successors, we are. When there were still Imperial ships about, we did our bit for Limsa and went after him. With the Garleans gone, there's no one left to ply our trade on except the Beastmen. So let us have that, eh? It's only fair. Contentious though some may find your views, it is true that you have broken no laws. That being so, I see no reason why you should not state your case directly to the Admiral's face. Unless the acting captain of the only true pirate crew left in Limsa has some other cause to hide in a cave? Well said. Well said indeed. Alright, I'll meet with the Admiral. I'll even provide the venue. The Astalatia. I trust she won't turn down the invitation. I thought myself the hunter, but it turns out I was the prey. A timely reminder that the pirate powers of Limsa are not to be trifled with. But all's well that ends well. Grahatia's timely provocation had the desired effect, and Sicard has agreed to the meeting. Let us hurry back to Limsa and pass on his invitation to the Admiral. Alright, back to Limsa. Prince, your companions have already reported to the command room. Alright, let's head into the command room ourselves. Let's get everybody's thoughts here. The Astalatia is the very last place for such a meeting. The Admiral will be marching right into the Coral's den. I hope we don't end up regretting this. Sicard does not want for confidence, that much is plain. But I have faith in the Admiral. She has dealt with far worse. While we have no assurances, Sicard will be amenable to reason. There can be no compromise without discussion. There you are. We have eagerly awaited your return. Welcome back, my friends. What news? They have been stealing crystals from the kobolds. My thanks for solving the mystery, and securing a meeting besides. Suffice to say, I accept Sekard's invitation. I would have you join me as my guests. The future of Limsa hangs upon the outcome of this meeting, and I would have the Scions present to bear witness.
Look who's come crawling!
Traitor!
You can shove your piece!
Welcome aboard, Admiral. I'll wager you don't remember me. Sicard, acting captain of the bloody executioners, at your service.
'Twas kind of you to invite us. Now, if Captain Hillfear has a message for me, I bid you speak it.
We have just the one demand. That you forget this bilge about making peace with the Beastmen. Ours is a nation of pirates. Always has been, always will be. Deny us our right to plunder, and you deny who we are.
Too bloody right!
Pirates till we die!
What we want, we take!
Piracy has no place in our future.
What'd she say?
Pirates have no place.
Our nation has prospered through piracy, 'tis true. Yet it is but one part of our long and storied history. Centuries ago, our ancestors led a failed rebellion and were driven from their homes with little more than the shirts on their backs. In fear of their lives, they sailed south until they came to these shores. Finding the land occupied by kobolds, however, they were forced to turn to piracy in order to survive. And survive they did. But not so long ago, when the Empire threatened to crush everything we'd built, we set aside piracy and joined hands with our neighbors. This too was in order to survive. And survive we did. Time after time we fought the Empire, and time after time we won. And through trade with our newfound allies, we prospered more than we ever did through pillaging and plundering. The Empire teeters on the brink of collapse. Ere long, provinces like Wurlit and Bosnia and many others will regain their freedom. When they do, our matchless fleet will lead the world in a new golden age of commerce. The tides favor us, and the ocean beckons with her vast bounty. But if we cling to the old ways, this great ship we call Limsa will trade the boundless seas for a lagoon. Shall we scorn the world's wealth for a plundered pittance then? Or shall we embrace change and thrive, like our ancestors before us? The choice is yours.
But if we are to prosper in the coming age, the whole of Vilbrans must become our ship, and a kobold and Sahagin our crewmates.
Rousing words. Might even be some truth in them. But pirating's all we've ever known. And we ain't about to give it up just 'cause you say so. Still, we're all the Mincins here and no one wants a war. So where does that leave us? Long before you became Admiral, I heard you was captain of the League of Lost Bastards. That true? If so, you'd know how we pirates settle our differences.
A duel. Very well. As Admiral of Limsa Laminsa, I accept your challenge.
This is how she became Admiral, too.
This ain't over! Not till one of us is dead! Finish the job! Or I will!
It's the captain!
Captain Ilfir!
Ye fool! 'Twas over afore it began.
Captain!
Seems the whelps have been yapping while their master was abed. Listen well, all of ye. Since the signing of the Galadian Accord, we all of us have been part of the same crew. The crew of the good ship Limsa Laminsa. At the helm of that ship is the Admiral. And 'tis she who decides where we sail. Was I not clear on that point? Or did you forget whose deck you stand on? Nay? Then what in the seven hells are you playing at?
It's all we know, Captain. If we ain't pirates, what are we?
You're bloody idiots is what ye are. Idiots with your own lives ahead of ye. Ye can do anything ye want. Be anything ye want. We're pirates, aye. And we pirates love our loot. But that ain't our first love. Our first love is the sea. The sea! And what she brings us. Freedom!
Interesting that they brought that up again.
So hold fast to that. Let the brine-crusted husk that stands before you now be the last of them as knew naught save out of steel.
and make of yourselves a new breed of pirate! Lad, I made ye me right hand 'cause I saw something in ye. And I still do. You have the makings of a captain. All you lack's the belief. Well now, it seems we're of one mind after all. Apologies for the misunderstanding, Admiral. We're with ye, wherever ye be headed.
You have my thanks, Hilfir.
Your choice of dueling pistol did not escape my notice. Good old Annihilator. Ender of many a proud pirate's voyage. Mistbeard's vanished into legend, and it won't be long before I take my rest in the depths. Yet be that as it may, the old ways can only truly die when we've dealt the Empire the telling blow. There'll be stormy seas ahead, no doubt. But I'm trusting ye to steer us through to the other side.
Though I had anticipated a duel, I did not foresee that Hilfir would intervene. But full glad am I that he did. It would have been a shame to kill the boy. Instead, the whelp has learned a valuable lesson, and we have made peace amongst ourselves. All that remains is to do likewise with our neighbors. Now, I need hardly tell you, but any attempt to negotiate with the tribes is doomed to fail, unless their minds can first be wrested from the grip of their gods. And so, in the meetings we seek to arrange with the kobolds, I would have you free their leader of Titan's influence. Leave it to us. We will open his ears to reason. You have my thanks. Ere we proceed, there is something you should know. Some 50 years pass, when the Sahagin swarmed at our holes in even greater numbers. Limsa entered into a covenant with the kobolds. To men shall go the bounty of the sea, to kobolds shall go the bounty of the land. An ostensibly equitable arrangement, conspicuously lacking in detail. Aye, inadvertently or not, the wording is ambiguous, and we took advantage of it, moving in to claim the northern reaches of La Noscia, which the kobolds believed theirs. Bloodshed followed, then bloodshed to answer the bloodshed, and on it went, till every ilm of Vilbrand bore the stain of our conflict. This is not history, you understand. It is the present, fresh and raw, and with their kindred blood yet on our hand, we will struggle to regain the kobolds' trust, even should we cure their temper. Admiral, you speak of obstacles we are like to encounter at the meeting. But as things stand, I see no reason why the kobolds would agree to a meeting in the first place. and so we must provide a reason. I will restore their stolen crystals to them, and personally deliver the cargo along with my apologies. Bait. They would welcome us into their midst not to speak of peace, but to have you at their mercy. Aye, and given the wealth of crystals we will bring, I'll wager they will attempt to summon Titan there and then. Meeting a high priest would need to be present, to whom we could administer the cure. Precisely. He is the fish I would catch, but he will not be alone. Nay, he will have guards on hand, and they will lay down their lives to protect him. Yet a single death on the kobold side would jeopardize our chance at peace, and there my venture founders. Yet it need not. What if we were to employ the Conqueror's Chain? Though we would still have to weaken the kobolds, it would allow us to subdue them without inflicting lasting harm. The artifact Mistbeard used to take goods and not life? Aye, that would serve. Well done, Marshal. So, friends, what think you of our strategy? The effects of tempering are cumulative, and we may safely assume that the High Priest's exposure to primal influence is extensive. It will therefore take a great deal of ether to reverse its effect, not to mention time. Time during which Azys Lla would be defenseless. Even should we all look to her protection, I am not convinced we could keep an entire army of kobolds at bay. Well, I'm happy to take that risk. It's not as if we have any other choice. Besides, it's what Tesleen would do, and had I not followed her example, we wouldn't even have a cure for tempering, much less a chance to bring peace to Vilbrand. I'm going to cure that priest, or die trying. I believe in you, Azys. I believe in you too. You and everyone. I know you'll keep me safe. It is settled, then. See to your preparations and make for Camp Overlook. We will join you there anon. Alright, to Camp Overlook we go. Alphino wasn't lying when he said I'd be defenseless, so I'm counting on you all to give me the time I need. Our sole purpose will be to keep you out of harm's way, so leave that to us, and focus on your own task. Indeed, and should you want for ether, you need only say the word. Taboo, did you follow us here? There's something important that I want to say to the High Priest. Express state, say. Please, let me come with you, please. I'm sorry, but it's too dangerous. I need you to promise me that you'll stay here where it's safe, alright? My apologies for the wait. It took time, but we have secured our audience. All unfolded as expected. At the mention of my returning their crystals in person, the kobolds suddenly remembered how keen they were to be reconciled. And so, in the glorious spirit of cooperation, we are to be received by Patriarch Zada of the Second Order, who awaits our pleasure in the Nava. If you are ready, let us proceed to Ugomoro Mines at once. Looks like we are headed directly into the mines here. On the other side of the wall there. No? Okay. No, this is the right place. I just have to turn here. Okay. Ah, duty calls! In that case, I have a little of that. Elsa can be forgiven a certain amount of recklessness, but if she goes so far as to contemplate sacrificing herself, I will remind her how she responded when I thought to do the same. Not that we will let it come to that, of course. Ready when you are, my friend. Patriarch Zada. The name sounds familiar. It is because he was the one who presided over the deaths of Gabu's parents. I tried to reach out to him that day, only for my pleas to fall upon deaf ears. This day will be different. We will reach out together, all of us, and we will take peace in our grasp. There's nothing more to say. I'm going to do this for Gabu and Tesleen and anyone who's ever dreamed of a better future. The Conqueror's chain stands ready, but weaken your foes, and it will see them subdued. This Aetheryte will bear us to our quarry. Should he make to summon Titan, as I anticipate, we will halt the ceremony and restrain him. At this, all hells will break loose, and we will have an army of kobolds to entertain till Alizé's work is done. Just remember, none must die. We weaken them and let Enzahar do the rest. It is time. Stay the course, my friends. I spy calmer waters beyond this squall.
Greetings, Patriarch. I am Merlwib Blufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Laminsa. I come before you to offer my sincerest apologies for the many wrongs committed by my people against you and yours.
You were foolish to come here. Stupid, unwise, foolish. The Great Father shall have your souls for your folly.
Aye, just as we thought.
Now, Alizé! Quickly!
You don't need to tell me!
Let none pass. We must grant her as much time as we can.
We must protect Alizé!
sights. You're in my sights.
Yeah, I can kind of hear that Janeway of Voyager.
Just what we need. You're not alone. There.
You're in my sights.
Here you are, Azys Lla.
More! I need more ether! Just a little more!
Definitely an interesting way to do this. Well, he's down. Oh, is she going down? that did it.
Yes, this will do. Here I go. Go, Angela.
Did it work?
What? What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, but they died by your hand. You sacrificed them to summon Titan.
No. No, 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 no! Why? Why would I do such a thing?
Would that there were a cure for the victims of the Tempered.
Gabu! What are you doing here?
Patriarch, please listen to me. Hear, heed, listen. The Great Father we have been summoning is false. He only hurts us and those we love. For a long time, his voice filled my mind. It told me to do terrible things. Awful, unspeakable, terrible things. But I didn't give in to it. And you mustn't either. There's been too much pain already. So please, end the suffering.
What have I done?
We share this child's desire, Patriarch. An end to summoning, for it spells naught but misery for both our peoples. For many long years, man and kobold have feuded over territory, pillaging and perishing for the earth beneath our feet. It may be said that we fought to survive, but what we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on. I would see us set aside the past and work together for peace.
It was wrong of me to hurt my own in the name of the Great Father. Sinful, evil, wrong. But that doesn't mean there can be peace between us. Men cannot be trusted. The bounty of the land was to be ours, and yours the bounty of the sea. But you broke the pact. Violated, breached, broke. Unready as we were, what choice had we but to call upon the divine to rid ourselves of your tyranny?
None, and I do not blame you for it. In violation of the spirit, if not the letter, of the pact, we took your lands for our own. The fault lies wholly with us. On behalf of all Laminsans, I offer you my humblest apology. I pray you'll find it in your heart to accept it. Yet I know an apology alone will not serve to make things right. So, we will revise the pact to leave no room for doubt. And any who violate it shall face justice, swift and certain.
No, we won't be fooled. Not again.
Please, hear me to the end. Fleeting though it was, there was a time when man and kobold abided together in harmony, in cooperation. In those days, your people shared the secrets of smelting. Knowledge which allowed Limsa Lominsa to thrive. Much of what we have, we owe to the kobolds. And so, for the good of all who dwell on this isle, I wish to make you an offer. We will bear your people's wares to every corner of the world, and trade them in your stead. In return, we will bring you the bounty, not only of the sea, but lands both near and far. Whatever you desire, the Navigator as my witness, you shall have it. There will be no more man and beastman, just the crew of the great ship that is Vilbrand. And together, we will share in the wealth of the world, if you'll only accept our hand in friendship.
We want to believe you. We truly do. But we believed you before and you betrayed us. Fooled, deceived, betrayed us.
There are bad men, it's true. But there are also good ones. And the ones before you are the best of them. They were always kind to me. Caring, nice, kind, and I trust them with my life.
Before I became Admiral, I was a pirate. I stole, I fought, I stained the sea red with blood. Such is my past, and I dare not forget it, however much I might want to. That is death penalty. The pistol I used to pass judgment on my own sire when he fell thrall to Leviathan and betrayed his comrades. It's loaded. If you were to point it at my head and pull the trigger, I would most assuredly die. Though it isn't much, my life is the single most valuable thing I possess. If it will suffice to atone for past wrongs, take it. A single bullet to annul the old pact, and my blood to write it anew. What comes after, I entrust to this man, my second in command. I know that he will do his utmost for the happiness of all who call Vilbrand home.
I do not trust you. Not yet. But Gaboo does. And I will trust him.
We want you to know that we respect your faith. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks to the land which sustains you. But summoning is different. Should you hear of anyone who would attempt it, we ask that you appeal to their better judgment, or failing that, seek our aid. We're always ready to help.
Many and more of my brethren are yet enthralled to the Great Father, just as I was. If you could free them too, I would be grateful. Appreciative, thankful, grateful.
Tis we who should be grateful, Patriarch. I thank you for affording us this chance.
And so the first step has been taken. Alright. It would seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next we will help the Second Order to free their tempered brethren from thraldom. Theirs is far from the only order, of course. It will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest. But reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long been true. So instead I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course not only for Limsa Lominsa, but all of Eorzea.
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones.
Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me.
What in the world is that? A tower?
You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yes? This is she. I am. I'm looking at it. What? Understood. Send the Elder Seedseer my regards. The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea. Nothing more is known, only that they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert. Forgive my directness, but would you join them? They may well need the help.
Of course, Admiral. We shall make all haste.
My thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the Navigator speed you on your way.
Alright, so we need to make our way over to Alamigo next here.
Thank you for coming so soon. I'll send for Commander Aldin at once, and we can decide what to do about these infernal towers.
Rogue preserved!
It can't be.
Looks like Bahamut, but he's different.
The palace! After them!
Could this be the real Bahamut?
Here, good.
Instead of just a primal? Oh, Fandaniel.
Well, well, well! To be received by such an illustrious cast! Why? Even the hero of the piece is here! I feel quite starstruck.
Is that... Asahi?
His body, more like. You don't fool us.
Oh! You saw straight through it! Anyone would think you dealt with Ascians before. Permit me to introduce myself. I am Fandaniel, and may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance.
The towers, what are they for?
My, straight to business is it? Suit yourself. It is my intention to recreate the final days. To which end I have distributed a collection of rather ingenious devices, or towers, which will, in time, give rise to the grandest of spectacles.
The final days? But it was the Scions who labored to prevent them.
You're quite right, though I would expect no less from one responsible for eliminating my unsundered colleagues. Honestly, the three of them were obsessed with restoring the one true world. As a sovereign individual, however, I never had much interest in such things. I mean, why bother when you're just another sundered minion? Admittedly, Elidibus was not convinced by that argument, but thanks to you, I'm finally free of his incessant nagging. Free to use my powers as I see fit, to fulfill my heart's desire. And my heart's desire is to lay this half-broken world to waste, leaving nary a fleck of dust behind!
What? Why would you want such a thing?
Because I want wretched creatures who ask such meaningless questions to die! You! And you! And you! I want you all to die! And I want to die too! Oh, yes! I want to die and take everyone with me in a paroxysm of pain and suffering! I'm different, you see, from the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you. So don't bother trying to reason with me. You will find I have no reason, or creed, or any such tripe. I just want to destroy the world. But please do resist with all your might. It will add to my enjoyment. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes peeled, for the curtains have risen on the spectacle to end all spectacles. We, the Telophoroi, shall be your performers and this very star our stage. Ah, but I nearly forgot. I have a message for you. My esteemed patron, Lord Xenos, eagerly awaits you at the heart of the chaos. While I wish only to destroy the world, he exists solely to relive a certain, transcendent moment with you. And it is for that reason he would reduce all to ash. Pray see to it his dreams do not go unfulfilled. For if you should disappoint him, my trusty companion here, whom I've dubbed Lunar Bahamut, will burn your cities and everyone in them.
Lunar Bahamut. Interesting.
Everyone out! My men will tend to the blaze.
Thank goodness everyone's safe. We managed to put out the fire, though not quickly enough to save the garden. Relbon, can I leave it to you to send word to the Alliance? I'm going to take a unit and investigate the tower. We need to find out what it's for. We'll go with you. No, you won't. You'll rest. From what Merlwyb tells me, you're due some time off duty. Should we learn anything about the tower, we'll be sure to share it with you. Until then, I want you to rest. Very well. And if you need our help, don't hesitate. And take care, both of you. Alright, and we make our way back to the Rising Stones. Ah, you're back too. Good. We've received the reports from the Alliance. Since we are all here, perhaps those who bore witness to the events in Alamigo could treat the rest of us to a first-hand account? No sooner do we overcome one problem than another appears. It would all seem tediously predictable, but for the endless variety of our foes. This Fandaniel sounds even more unhinged than his Petron. Unhinged, perhaps, but no fool. For all his pantomime theatrics, he gave away little about his plot. We know only that he intends to recreate the final days, and that the towers will somehow facilitate this. He also called his dragon Lunar Bahamut. Let's not forget that little detail. And the creature certainly did resemble the Elder Primal. That may be, but the fact that it answered to Fandaniel would suggest they are not one and the same entity. I think it's more probable that it is some manner of simulacrum, born of Ascian magics. Whatever it is, for now we can but work closely with the Alliance and remain vigilant. I believe that concludes our news. What of yours, Y'shtola? I have been to see the Sultana. Knowing how quick the immortal flames are to dispose of their tempered, I judged it best to provide them with the cure first. As soon as I had sufficiently recovered, I traveled to Ul'dah and delivered the Porksies to her grace, along with detailed instructions on their use. Yet my visit chanced to coincide with the arrival of some troubling tidings. The immortal flames had been on the cusp of agreeing to a truce with the Amalja when negotiations abruptly collapsed. The Amalja claim that a number of their kind have been abducted, and that men are responsible. Not as known of the perpetrators as yet, but as the immortal flames went about investigating the abductions, they came upon one of Fandaniel's towers. On the subject of the towers, you may be interested to learn that they are not an exclusively Eorzean phenomenon. According to the Alliance, they have been sighted as far afield as Yangsha. It would seem reasonable to assume that they are everywhere. We simply have not found them. Well, as you said yourself, we can do little for now save remain vigilant. And since we're dealing with a dragon, ostensibly at least, I believe it would behoove us to enlist the aid of an authority on such foes. Estinian. Estinian? Now just a moment. If he could be persuaded to lend us his lance, I would be the first to welcome it. But the truth is, we will struggle even to find him. You let me and Kryl worry about that. We'll sniff him out, no matter where he's hiding. If indeed he is hiding. We have ways of locating him, regardless. So, if there are no objections, we shall depart at once. Well, rather than sitting around, I think I might go to each of the city-states and educate them on the use of the porksies. They would doubtless appreciate it, but might you consider taking a moment to rest before leaving? You'd be fresher for the tasks ahead. Well, my friend, our moment of triumph did not last long. 'Twas ever the way, the world often needs saving. Save it we shall. I for one do not intend to allow a nihilistic madman to take us all to the grave with him. Not when the future holds such promise. Nay, I will do all in my power to protect those whom I hold dear, just as you have always done. Meanwhile, somewhere in the locks.
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them. Oh, thank goodness for that.
Glory be. Glory be. Glory be. Glory be to Garlemald!
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace...
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life. Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing him that you await his coming, though I confess I may have singed him a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. Huh. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord.
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
Gravitos, I agree. He seems very Kefka-like in that way, but he definitely has a good voice behind him. Alright, and with that little bit of information at the end, that brings us to the end of today's stream here. Obviously, patch 5.5 still awaits us, and hopefully next week we're going to be, or the week after, we're going to be getting some content with PS... Yeah, I think it's next week that the 9th anniversary is starting, if I remember correctly, for Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, so... we'll definitely be checking that out, and then depending upon how long that content lasts, if there's going to be another gap after that, which might be happening based on what we learned, then I would look to return back and finish up patch 5.5 sometime in late July, in that case. But that's going to do it for today's stream on Twitch. A little bit later tonight, I will be hopping into Bajda over on Discord, as I mentioned before. Side content is now only going to be done through Discord. But yeah, that's going to do it for this stream here. Since it looks like it's only you two here at this point here in terms of what I'm showing for viewers, I'm just gonna go ahead and close things off here. So thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.